Yes, sir, baby. It's on the radar. Yo, I'm joined today by the one, the only Clever is here with me. Crazy album out now. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? Never fear. Clever is here, dog.
Never fear, Clever. Yo, man, congratulations on the success of this project. You know, it's such a great way to start off 2021. And I even just saw Rolls Royce Umbrella. You posted on your IG story when we recorded this. What number is it on the Billboard chart right now?
It's at 30. Actually, that's the top 40 rhythmic chart. So it's at 36 on the top 40 rhythmic right now.
Right, and I saw Life's a Messes on, I think, the Hot
Yeah,
100
oh yeah,
now,
yeah.
right?
Life's a Mess is Hot 100. Yeah, I think it was like 97 or something like that.
Man, that is amazing. You know, how with this body of work, you know what I'm saying? It's been 2 years since you dropped Who Is Clever. How does it kind of feel to have like a full body of work back out into the world?
Man, it's amazing. You know, we kind of went cold for a little bit. We kind of, doing some different deals and stuff. You kind of sit around, people was getting impatient and stuff, but we we signed with Republic last year around March or so. So it's just been a process, and I kind of held on to some records up until this point. We got a lot in the pipeline, but just, it feels good just to put out, a new body of work and get some people talking and turn some heads, dude. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and you know, with this being 2 years after your last project, how do you feel like this project was like an amalgamation and kind of like, just brings together the past 2 years of your life? Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you telling a story about what's going on? Obviously a lot's happened since the last
Yeah,
project.
right. So, it's this album to me is a dedication. It's like a tribute to Juice. Juice opened a lot of doors for me. I don't think I'd even be on this call if it wasn't for him. And to be signed to Juice and Post at Republic is dope. And to have both of them on a record is really fitting for me. And we really kind of took the song back to its original version and didn't change the beat, kind of made the beat the way Juice wanted it. And it was definitely dope to put out this album, and to put all the little hidden secrets and secret meanings and messages in the album was cool. And just kind of making an experience, really, to have some records out with Chris Brown and Lil Wayne and Lil Baby. I even put my son, my 6-year-old, yeah, thank you. I put my 6-year-old on a song with Lil Wayne. So he's already getting like publishing deal offers and stuff like that. And he's just at the end of the song, kind of doing some la la la's and stuff. And he was like a studio rat growing up. So he's kind of been in the life, from birth. But he likes to sit next to me with the headphones on and listen to the song with the beat, so he's not listening to the the vocals a cappella while we're recording. And he just sitting next to me. I didn't ask him to do it. He just kind of felt the need to jump on there and did it. And once he did it, I was like, we gotta leave that on there, bro. It sounds dope. You know what I mean? So
you are talented. We are definitely leaving this on the final cut.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just thought to have him on a record with Lil Wayne, that's cool as hell too. So
no, that's super dope. That's super dope. I wanted to get it because you mentioned like the little things here and there on the album and the little nuances and whatnot that I would love to get into. Because I have a tweet here from December 13th. You tweeted about Life's a Mess, because obviously the one on your album is titled Life's a Mess Part 2. And you said that you had a verse on it before Halsey did it. It's not the remix. This is like the OG. And you mentioned the drums, which is obviously a very noticeable difference from the one that was on Juice's album. What's the story behind this record? And how long had you kind of had this in the planning for this album?
So, I feel like I was kind of plucked off of it for Legends Never Die. And, I probably said some things about it I probably shouldn't have, but it is what it is. That it was the OG version, and Juice wanted the beat the way that we put it out, this last time. And I think, it's one thing to add some stuff for streams. It's one, add an artist for some streams, or like change the beat for radio or something like that. But, when it comes to somebody's discography, I just felt like it was important to kind of preserve what it was that he knew it to be, and kind of take it back to that original thing. And whether you like it better with the beat or not, for me, I knew the song as an acoustic sonic sounding thing. And when you add a beat to it, and some Lex Luger like 808s and you know what I'm saying, some drum kits, it's like, to me, it wasn't a good choice. If that's the way he wanted it, you should have left it that way. And we kind of it was a big fight for this record to get it out. It's not easy to clear a song, especially nowadays with Juice, and it's not easy to clear a song with any artist, period. But with Juice, it was a fight to get this record out. So it really meant a lot to me, and from a lot of different standpoints to get this record out and it do what it did.
Right. And I think that's amazing that
But
you were able to put it out on the album and kind of honor his legacy on the project. And even like the song after that is 99, which I know has more significance than just, the 21 seconds. And I've seen people
right.
dissect it, and I understand what the meaning of it is with the 21 and being the ninth song on the album. But I feel like it would mean more if you also kind of broke down why you put those 21 seconds of silence on there and whatnot.
Sure. So, it just represents Juice's 21 years on Earth, and it's the ninth track. It's titled 999, which is a play on 999.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a lot of little things like that kind of tie it all together. The whole album, of course, is not just about Juice, but there's definitely a lot. That's the concept behind it, was just a tribute to Juice. And, even the last song, we have a secret song on the album. A lot of people saying, why is there all this space, at the end of the album? But the last song actually has 999 seconds in between it and another secret song that's at the very, very end of the album. So kind of the way they used to do in the 90s with the secret song at the end of an album or something. The Beatles did a lot of stuff like that.
I was about to say the Beatles definitely did that.
Yeah. I love to do stuff like that. So my fans always tend to enjoy it. So we definitely add a lot of stuff, like that to the album. But even the secret song, at the very end, and I may be giving away some spoiler stuff here because I like to give them a chance to kind of find some of the Easter eggs.
Spoiler warning before you get into it. There you go. There's your spoiler warning.
So when the verse starts, it starts with the word "forgive me" on the song. If you look at the first letter being an F, of course, on "forgive." The first letter of that sentence, the second letter of the second sentence, the third letter of the third sentence, and so forth, spell out some things as well. And there's a lot of little things. That hook on that song, you can read vertically and horizontally. The second word of the first sentence is the first word of the second, and so forth. So you can read it up and down and left and right if you write it out. And a lot of little things, dude. You know what I mean? The album from front to finish has sound effects added to it that sync with a movie. The kind of the way like the Dark Side of the Moon, you could, if you got stoned enough, you could listen to it you could watch it with the Wizard of Oz. I think that was more of a coincidence for them, but we deliberately kind of added some sound effects to sync it up with a movie. And
what movie do we know? Or can you reveal what movie it is? Or
I haven't told a lot of people, but I was kind of wanting them to try to guess it on their own kind of thing. But it's The Nightmare Before Christmas. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you here. But it's The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's also a tribute to Juice. He died in December, right before Christmas, and I'm a big Tim Burton fan as well. So I kind of tied that together for that meaning as well.
Now, first of all, I just gotta congratulate you on like being able to put all these things in. Like, I think that's so amazing. And I feel like, you're talking about the 90s, you're talking about all these bands and whatnot that used to do it. I feel like you don't really see that a lot in music these days. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the fact that you were able to sequence it and put all these little nuances in, and even with the last track, like this is all like something that I feel like is a lost art that you kind of really captured on this project. And I think that in itself is just such an amazing accomplishment with this.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. It to me, it's a lot of fun to hear. That was kind of something that was very exciting to me, was to have, listen to stuff backwards, run it backwards and hear something crazy, or, some stuff like that, just added in for dramatic effect. And I think it was definitely cool to add some stuff. I think for this album and it being a tribute, of course, I would have loved to have done some Easter eggs and some secret hidden messages, stuff about a different topic. But, I thought that it would definitely be cool to add some stuff, some little flares in there for Juice's fans and for Juice himself.
Yeah, it very much reminds me of like, when you play some of, the like some of the Beatles music backwards, and there was those theories and like when they were prominent that which one of them died? Was it that they said that Paul McCartney died, I think? And like it was Paul is dead. Yeah, Paul is dead. Yep.
Yeah,
So it
Yeah, I
kind
remember
of
that.
reminds me of like those type of like nuances, and like, you know, even when they would play like Stairway to Heaven backwards, or you see those things
Yeah,
online that were very popular within the like last 10 to 15 years. Like people were like, oh my God, if you listen to Stairway to Heaven backwards, like this you hear this and this. So I think that's like, that's why I'm so impressed by this, because it's just so cool that you were able to do it, because I feel like no one even would think to do that in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? Like there
yeah,
aren't
it's
many
a
artists
fact.
who do it.
Well, and you know, from a with the secret song thing, you know, it's something that was popular back in the '90s and stuff. An album would go off, and then there'd be a lot of space there, and then all of a sudden the song would start back up. Some of my favorite bands had some stuff like that. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but I um I thought that would be cool, and it's definitely not something that you would do in this day and age because on Spotify, on iTunes, you see that amount of time, you
Yeah.
know, the timestamp on there, and it's like, why is this a 20-minute record? You know, what's going on? But and I had a lot of people from Republic, you know, trying to talk me out of it from a municipal royalty standpoint, because I think just having a lot of space on iTunes and Spotify and stuff like that kind of messes with with downloads and stuff like that. It's they're paying for something that's space, you know what I mean? But we didn't really compromise for the artistic side of it, just for municipal royalties. You know what I'm saying? So it was like it was a fight to get this album out, honestly, left and right. But we pulled it together, and there it is, dude. I'm happy about it.
But you did, you know, I even saw when you joined Twitter back in, I think November, you were like, I'm back on Twitter, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And like, you
Yeah,
were just like, even on Twitter, you just like seemed so happy to kind of like be able to tell people that the album was coming out, that the album was
yeah,
finally here. Like, you seemed like very, you know, you could kind of tell that it was a fight for you. You know what I'm saying? You could even tell just even by looking at the social media and just like, you know, the little things that you put out here and there. And it just was just like, man, like now that I'm hearing it from you, I can really like get a better sense. And if I look back on those tweets, I'm like, damn, man, he was really like coming from this place where he was like, I'm just happy to find that this is finally going to be out for the people.
absolutely. Yeah, you get a lot of feedback as a music artist from different fans, and you take a lot of it to heart. You have to have thick skin sometimes, but a lot of it is also positive feedback and just feedback that you can take and turn into a positive thing, that you actually listen to your fans and hear their wants and needs. And when people are just dramatically like, bro, you got to drop something, like this is getting crazy, you know what I'm saying? Then even if it's been, I've got people already hitting me up in this day and age. That's kind of how it goes. But I've already got people going, when's the next album dropping and stuff like that. So, you got to stay consistent in today's world. It's here today and gone tomorrow. And they want something, early and often, and you just got to keep it pumping. But it's a fun time, but I was definitely glad to get something out here and let my people have a new body of work to play with.
No, facts, 100%. You mentioned last year when you partnered up, with Postico and Republic. How did you kind of link with Postico, and how did that whole relationship with Post come about?
Well, so I've always had a good connection with World Star, and I was putting out stuff on World Star left and right. And he heard the record with NLE Choppa, the "Stick by My Side"
Yep.
record, and he loved that. And I remember there was people, like, videos were surfacing from his fans posting up on Instagram or other social platforms with Post kind of sitting backstage or in a Sprinter van or something, just listening to my music. There's like several videos where he was listening to my music for months before we ever spoke. And then me and him have a mutual friend in Tyler Yahweh. And I remember I had spoke to Tyler on a FaceTime sometime that week, and Post is just digging through Tyler Yahweh's phone and decides to FaceTime me one day just to say, hey dude, I really love your record. And I'm thinking it's Tyler, and I'm gonna pick up and be like, yo, what's good? And I answer, and there's Post Malone's face. He's just like, hey buddy, like, I really love
I can imagine him saying that too.
Yeah. And I was just like, what? Like, what's up, dude? And he was like, dude, I really love your music. And I was like, yeah, I've had people telling me, that you've been listening to my stuff. And then, Post is really easy to get along with. He's like a really down to earth dude, especially to be where he's at. And he was like immediately inviting me to go to Dallas Cowboy games in Las Vegas and like different things like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think they were playing the Raiders, and he was like, or somebody in Vegas that particular week. And he was just like, dude, come to Vegas. There's going to be a Cowboys game there. I'm in Vegas, blah, 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 blah. And he was, the next thing I knew, I'm going to meet up with him on his tour and going to several dates at Madison Square, and going to Minnesota, and just kind of traveling around with him every blue moon, just to hang out backstage and stuff like that. And we became close, and it wasn't long before he was just like asking me questions about my deal and wanting to squeeze in there, you know what I'm saying? And made way. He kind of could see the writing on the wall as well. Like, you know, what are they doing? And what's going on here and here and here? And he kind of just walked me in over at Republic, and it's been a wild, hell of a ride since. So
that's amazing. And you know, we were talking a little bit before this interview about like your battle rapping days, right? And your 106 in Park days. I need you to tell me about this, because I feel like you've done a little bit of everything in your life.
Yeah. Well, you know, if it was up to me, I wouldn't have. I would have went straight in. But you know, it's easy for a lot of artists. Sometimes I think some of those artists that get on early and have it easy route to the top, that they lack substance. So I feel like, you know, my experience and stuff like that definitely made me who I am, and I learned a lot from this business because of it. So I had my days in radio as well. You know what I mean? I had my days as a 106 in Park Freestyle Friday champion, and it was a fun time. You know, I was young and I turned down some baseball scholarships, just wanted to go to do music, and saw an opportunity to go do some auditions, and took a bus 24 hours up to Manhattan to do some freestyle battling. And it was like a year that went by, and I hadn't heard anything from them. And what I didn't realize was they were doing those auditions for the next coming year to kind of have some already lined up. So, but they called me randomly one day. I was backing out of my driveway, and I was living with my folks at the time. I was still young, like 18 or so. And then my mother's like running down the driveway, like, BET's on the phone, you know. And I remember just picking it up and being like, you know, hello. And they wanted me to come out. So I flew to New York and did my thing. And then I also did some Spring Bling freestyle competitions in Miami, back when they used to do the spring break stuff on BET and MTV and stuff like that. So it's just, you know, one thing after the next, dude. I had to jump through a lot of hoops to get here. But, you know, I did some songwriting for a bit. I got in some shitty deals. I learned a lot from it, bounced back. And then when I started putting out my own shit again, and got out of the terrible deal that I was in that held me back, I did some time in prison. And, you know what I mean? I kind of really put myself back a good bit. But when I started coming out, putting my stuff back out there, I caught the attention of Juice Wrld. And, you know, one post from Juice Wrld kind of changed my life for the rest of it. So.
And you mentioned, you know, songwriting. And so, and I like to ask this with people who are songwriters that have come on my show. What do you feel like the biggest misconceptions about songwriting? Like, or what do you feel like are some big misconceptions about songwriting in general?
Well, you know, for me, songwriting was, you know, an outlet. It was a way for me to continue to do music and try to make money in music. Since it wasn't really working out as a starving artist, you know, crashing on couch to couch. But I would say, you know, for like battle rapping, I always got that battle rappers can't write songs. I think that's a misconception because, you know, I'm proof that you can write some songs as well as do them both. And, you know, Jay-Z was one of my favorite artists growing up, and he was a battle rapper. But
right,
I don't know. I mean, from a songwriter, I don't know about a misconception as a songwriter, but, you know, I think that people may feel as if songwriters are limited to certain genres. And I wrote opera songs, Christmas songs. I wrote songs for Snoop Dogg and Corrupt and Mac 10 and the East Siders, and then turned around and wrote songs for David Foster, and, you know, wrote songs for Haim Saban, that owns the Power Rangers, and did like some Hebrew songs that were converted into, you know, translated into English. And it was just like anything I could get my hands on, you know what I mean? So I wrote gumball pop records, and, you know, there's no limit to what a songwriter can actually write, I think. And that would be, you know, one of the misconceptions that they may be limited to one genre. But
it was crazy. Like with the Power Rangers thing, I have to ask about that. Did you? Yeah. You said you wrote for Saban. What exactly did you do? Was it like something for Power Rangers, or was it just like something for him?
So I linked up with Haim through David Foster. They were close.
Okay.
Haim is I was writing for David when he was at Verve, down at Universal for a little bit. He was the chairman of Verve Music. But when I wrote for Haim, I think he was doing it more of a political thing for Israel. You know, like there was a duo out there that were trying to, you know, kind of cross over into the American markets, and he wanted to take their records that they already had that was really popular over there and translate them into English so that they could release something through Capitol here. And I think he was doing it as a political thing, you know, just for his country, you know what I mean, as a Israeli American billionaire kind of guy.
Right.
And got word that I was you know, a good lyricist and this sort of thing. So just reached out to me to see if I could translate it for him, and I broke it down and kind of got the meaning, and then made my own little spins on it and stuff like that, and had them had made reference tracks for him.
That's awesome. When you said the Power Rangers, I was like, wait, let me find out. Clever did like one of the theme songs for the Power Rangers. Yeah. I was like, wait a second, we got to bring that shit back real quick. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, no, you know, he became a big inspiration to me, though. You know, just through everything that he was able to accomplish with. You know, he didn't own that show. He didn't start that show from the ground up. He bought it. You know what I'm saying? It was already popular somewhere else, and he bought the rights to it and then brought it to America, and then owned, you know, Fox News or Fox Kids, I'm sorry, with Rupert Murdoch, and kind of made the show popular, kind of made the channel popular with some of those shows, and then sold Fox Kids and became a billionaire, a multi-billionaire at that. And he was just a big inspiration. And to be able to talk to him on the phone, talk to any kind of billionaire in the world when there's only so many of them, you know, and then go through like what they think that it should be musically and stuff like that. Me work for them. It was definitely a cool experience.
Now, and before, like towards the beginning of our interview, you mentioned Tim Burton and The Nightmare Before Christmas, of course. And you know, in a lot of bios that I personally read about you, they said if Tim Burton character hopped off a screen and made hip hop, it would be you. Now, do you feel like do you agree with that statement? Like, and how big of a, I guess, does like Tim Burton's, like, I guess, craft, or you know, his aesthetic or his movies, whatever, have like on? Is there like an influence there for you?
Absolutely, yeah. Tim Burton's a huge inspiration to me, and I think you know, it's definitely cool for someone to say that, because that's kind of the aesthetic that we go for. You know, it's I feel like that. What's the Edward Scissorhands? You know, kind of a dark kind of thing. You know what I mean? Trying to fit into a normal society kind of guy. So I definitely take that as a compliment myself. You know, but yeah, Tim Burton takes a lot of. He's a big inspiration of mine, especially aesthetically. And even the movie, you know, syncing up with it being a Tim Burton film, it definitely makes sense. We go a lot of kind of dark, eerie, haunting in a way, but at the same time make some popular stuff, you know.
Right. No, 100%. And you know, we got some videos on the way, or we have like a combined video for Rolls-Royce Umbrella and Life's a Mess. What can the fans know about that? Like, is there anything we can share from it? Is there anything, you know, any other videos on the way that we could talk about?
Well, you know, with this one, it's going to be a double. It's going to be, you know, put together. It's going to be an intro that's Rolls-Royce Umbrella, and then kind of transition into Life's a Mess. And it's going to be starring Allie, Juice Wrld's girlfriend. And I think her being a part of it is huge. And she really is grateful, you know, to be considered for it as well. And you know, I think that it means a lot to her, as well as the song means a lot to me. The song was about her originally when Juice wrote it, and to make the video about her as well, I think was very important to me, you know, just from a friend standpoint. So it's going to be cool. That's all I know. You know what I mean? It's going to be a dope visual, and all for the right reasons.
That's incredible. So, you know, looking forward, obviously, you know, past this project, past, you know, this year, what is next in store for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want to do next? You know, do you want to drop another project? Obviously not this year, because, you know, we have this amazing body of work that we should all very much sit with. But what do you want to do next? Like, what's next for Clever?
Well, you know, I'm already working on the second album. So I've got, actually, the second album I think is going to be just as big, like feature wise, which is crazy to say already, but we got a lot of stuff in the pipeline just chilling. And I got another record with Chris Brown coming out on his album sometime this year. That's got me on it. It's got Young Thug on it as well. Awesome. I got a record with Post Malone on his album So, and right now we're working on some records to try to pitch for, we got an opportunity to pitch to place with Space Jam on the Space Jam soundtrack, and trying to do like Madden 22. I'm big on gaming and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get a record at Madden 22. And, you know, we got the Skittles record with Little Baby is playing on ESPN and stuff like that during like commercial breaks and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of sitting back. I'm gonna go ahead and start, you know, creatively trying to put together another album and already have it in the box, just waiting, and just continue to keep, you know, pushing forward, doing interviews and trying to make some more, trying to make my way.
That's awesome. But, and, you know, we also have talked about rock a little bit today, and, you know, obviously, you know, you're with Post Malone has obviously worked with, you know, Ozzy Osbourne in the past. Who are some rock artists that you would really want to do a song with? You know what I'm saying? Like, good.
That's a good question. You know, I think maybe Robert Plant or somebody like that, from Led Zeppelin. I think, you know, when people ask me, I don't really aim in a rock direction, but I definitely get a lot of rock, you know, influence, and I get that. It's common for people to kind of put me in that ballpark. So I think I definitely grew up on that kind of stuff. My mother listened to Earth, Wind and Fire and stuff like that, more of a, you know, rhythm and blues kind of thing. And my dad was big on like Leonard Skinner and Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. So I kind of got a mixture of the two of them, I think, in my own music. But I always say, you know, if Robert Plant and Jay-Z had a baby and then abandoned that baby in a dumpster and it took him a long time to get where he was going, but he made it, that would be me. But you know, I think Robert Plant, if anybody rock wise, it would definitely be him.
I feel like that would be dope. You know, you mentioned the Jay-Z mixture thing, and it just like, because my roots are rock and hip hop as well. And the first album I ever bought as a kid was Collision Course with Jay-Z and Linkin Park. So like that just brought me back to that. And I think that would be so cool for you to connect with some rock artists. I do understand how people can put you in that category, but I feel like you're very diverse, and you go both ways when it comes to like the music. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop, rock, and like the in betweens and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, you know, being a songwriter kind of helped to develop that. At one point, it was just hip hop. I was a freestyle battle rapper, you know, for God's sakes. But like early on, it was like straight hip hop, and then, you know, but even some hip hop tracks, they have some hooks that's singing and different stuff. So I was always in the studio, like trying to explain, because I would write songs for people also, and I'd be like, I wrote this hook, can you sing this, and get somebody that could sing to come in. But I'd always be like, no, you gotta really give it some emotion right here, you know. And it got to the point where the engineers was like, dude, you know, you kind of sound dope when you sing it. Why don't you sing it, you know? And I was like, okay, I will, you know, like a smart ass kind of thing, you know. And I went in there and I did it myself. And then it wasn't long before I was adding it into my music. It kind of consumed my music in a way. But yeah, I mean, just little by little. But I think I even built that style from some of the songwriting too. You know, I wrote opera songs, and so I feel like just different styles and kind of meshing them together and doing reference tracks and kind of really learning my voice. I developed a style with all that stuff kind of combined, and my stuff is now kind of really cinematic, and try to make it big at times. Although on this second album, I am kind of toning it down a little bit on some songs and kind of bringing some other flavors that I've done my whole career. So that people really haven't heard a lot of. I took down a lot of stuff from early years, you know, that I was going hard at it for a long time. You know what I mean? But some of my local hometown, you know, people know, you know, a lot of my old stuff, but it's gonna be a little different taste on the second album, with a little, you know, of course I'm gonna keep it the same and have that same, you know, dramatic thing going on at times as well. But there are some songs already that's part of this next album that's kind of toning it down a little bit.
Hey, well, you know, this is all very exciting. You know, I'm pumped for this next album. I'm excited to see everything you do. I'm excited for the Rolls Royce Umbrella / Life's a Mess video. Yeah. There are a lot of things to look forward to from you. On top of this project's already been out in 2021. Is there anything else that the people got to know about for 2021 before we sign off here for the day?
No, just know I ain't going to give up, you know, and I got some stuff coming. There's more Easter eggs to the album that's going to be revealed soon. There's going to be a video. I got some big records coming out with some different artists, some of which I didn't mention. Got some in the pipeline. That's about it, dude. It's never stopped from here. You know, from straight to the top, from AL to LA.
I love it. Yo, so before we go, let the people know where they could follow you at, all your social media. Any last messages you got for them? Go ahead and let them know.
So on Instagram, it's at crazy. On Twitter, it's at mosh pit. On TikTok, it's at clever. I got all the OG handles. I got a plug that. So, but yeah, man, that's it. There's not much to it. Just check it out. And be open-minded when you listen to it and vibe out, bro. It's some good stuff.
Hey,
So,
well, you know what? Thank you for spending, the last like 40 minutes here with me talking about this album. You know what I'm saying? It's such a dope body of work, and I'm happy that it's finally out to the world, and we get all these amazing records and all these amazing Easter eggs and nuances on the project. Again, thank you so much for being here. Everybody, make sure y'all go follow him. Make sure y'all go stream Crazy out now. And until next time, it's Clever on the Radar, baby.
Yeah, baby. Thank you, Gabe.